Glad to have you join us on this edition of the show. Cybersecurity was a major topic in 2021 and will certainly remain so going forward. A Sonic Web report states that well over 700 million attempted ransomware attacks occurred last year, which is a pretty large number irrespective of how you analyze this development. My guest today is a cybersecurity expert, and he has some insights on how both individuals and organizations can better protect themselves. We've got this and more coming up on the show. I am Chukwemeka Agbata. Welcome to Tech Trends.
Cybersecurity is a dynamic space. The user faces different challenges every year because there are always new applications and data. When you think logistics in Nigeria, what mostly comes to mind is either a motorcycle or a four-wheeled vehicle. But that's not the case with this startup seeking to change the narrative. Errand 360 is leveraging bicycles for its delivery service.
We've identified three major issues affecting delivery service in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, and these problems are centered around delay in delivery time. The second one is, of course, the delivery cost. We pay more to deliver because of the way deliveries are being done in Nigeria and Africa. And the third problem we're trying to solve is to reduce carbon footprint into our environment. Now, when it comes to climate change, everyone is trying to prefer solutions to solve global warming. And using bicycles and electric bikes is something that we know definitely does not emit carbon, and it's eco-friendly, and this in turn would reduce global warming.
How can we reduce costs? How can we make it something better? How can we make it faster? Because you get to understand that in delivery services, you stockpile different deliveries, and then if you order something, you expect to get it like 5 minutes, and you start getting like 3 hours later calling it on. So look, let's do something that is different. Then we now say, okay, the last minute delivery, the traffic situation, why don't you just do a community delivery thing that will be within communities that will map out? So we mapped out Lagos and said, okay, let's start from the island. Okay, where do we start from in the island? Let's start from Lekki, Ajah, Ikoyi, VI axis, and that was what we did.
As a bicycle community delivery platform, the aim is to serve users with demand for quick and short errands within their communities and on-demand delivery services.
We're a community-based delivery service, and we have geo-mapping systems that first of all allow us to mitigate getting requests for long distance. Now, the maximum radius a bicycle can go is about 6 to 7 kilometers.
We are eco-friendly. We don't consume fuels, which means the cost of delivery is lower. Bicycles are a lot more effective because of the advantages they have. We focus on communities. We focus in areas where people can go short distances, and that is why we are effective. The bicycles don't consume fuel. Maintenance is very low. They don't face traffic, and they have health importance.
But the journey for this young startup did not start now, and the successes recorded so far within a short amount of time only just happened.
We didn't start with a bicycle delivery service. We started an e-commerce site where we are seeking to see how we can do it differently. And that e-commerce site was in Go Panther Media. Then we now migrated to Vendorfy after a while, trying to see, okay, how do we ameliorate the issues of high charges for delivery. We started 2019, all over the place, and we had our first break with Noli Foods and Juice.
So how does it all work?
We have a vendors app. That is what we use for our business. Then we have the riders app, where our riders will log on, and then we will onboard them, we enroll them. They'll be online every time. Then the vendors actually have to log on to our app as well. And when they are signed on the app, anytime they have a delivery to do, They put it on their app, and then a rider that is close by picks it up automatically on the rider's app.
We are a business-to-business model, which means we work with other businesses to help them solve their logistic issues. Call it last mile delivery, call it hyperlocal delivery, deliveries within the community, around 360, and use that. A lot of people have asked me several times, why do you use bicycles? Can't you use other means of infrastructure? And I tell them one thing for a fact, that we are an eco-friendly business, and we try to stick to that. Aside that, the use of bicycle has a lot of advantages to it. Let me start. No fueling to start with, low maintenance cost, they don't face traffic, and it has health importance. And it also helps us to navigate shorter distances.
One would wonder how this startup would get riders considering the amount of energy required to ride a bicycle daily for work. The question here is one of the main challenges the startup has had to grapple with, among others.
It started with the acceptance. People didn't really understand how a business is trying to go commercial using bicycles. It's a novel thing we're trying to do. I'm not sure that a lot of companies in Africa or Nigeria, as it were, using bicycles for delivery.
And the second challenge we faced is also recruiting riders to start riding for us. That was a very huge challenge, and we had to think critically to be able to prefer solutions and, of course, ideas and techniques on how to introduce this to riders and get them to understand that this is actually a business, not a fun thing, right? And I would say we've been able to, solve that problem.
Initially, we had the challenge of funding, but along the line, because some people believe in what we're doing, we were able to get an investor.
By using bicycles to deliver goods, Errand 360 is providing affordable deliveries and short errands for people in the community in a sustainable way. Startups in Nigeria are helping to fight counterfeit pharmaceutical drugs in Africa's most populous nation, where the prevalence rate of fake drugs is higher than the global average 10% and contributes to the deaths annually. The most counterfeited are drugs for malaria, pain and antibiotics, according to the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. To fight the flood of fake pills, the agency, in partnership with the startups, has created stickers with unique codes that manufacturers and distributors can attach to boxes and sachets of pills. Consumers can then use apps on their phones to scan the code and confirm the authenticity. In 2009, BioFem Industries had their anti-diabetic prescription drug, glycophage, counterfeited in the market, which caused a decline in their revenue. They began using the Unstructured Supplementary Service Data (USSD) technology in 2011 and have since deployed the solution in a variety of pharmaceutical products.
After the experience we had and we were able to mitigate that experience using the technology, we decided that all our products was going to have it, so that we do not wait till when it is counterfeited before we protect the patient, which is primary to us.
Lagos-based Check It Technologies mobile app allows patients to check authenticity and enables manufacturers to see the number of new customers using their products.
What we discovered was that people don't necessarily scratch off labels on products, which is why we went off with the idea of, putting more like an incentive on the sticker labels through a scratch verify win model, printing that exactly on the sticker label. So when the consumer sees the sticker label, has the idea that it's a chance of winning something, that can basically divert them towards authenticating that product. And we've seen that work for us, right? Over 60% of our labels get authenticated in the market.
At Sproxil Africa, a mobile authentication firm said the company's app empowered users to validate the authenticity of products they were purchasing.
The idea was, why don't you put the power in the hand of the product end user to be able to validate what he or she is buying at the point of purchase. So with that, first they note the shop where they bought it, and they can tell their family members, and no shop owner wants to be tagged as someone who sells counterfeit product?
The major problem of counterfeiting in Nigeria and Africa is as a result of broken supply chain processes. Right? You have several importers having the same license to import the same product. You know, it's very difficult, and then you probably now have different barcode numbers for the same products. You know, but probably the product is in different packaging. Right? So it just creates a conflict already in the market. So the system already is broken to a large extent, which is what causes the challenge.
Nigeria, with a population of 200 million, has had fake and substandard pharmaceuticals influx in its market for decades. NAFDAC's Director of Investigation and Enforcement Directorate, Kingsley Ejiofor, said the agency had in the past 3 years seized 2 trillion naira worth of counterfeit drugs. He said tracking apps are boosting the confidence of consumers.
Modern technologies have really helped. So, but for that, people would go and imagine some of the drugs in time past that people will ingest without that technology. So the technology has really helped.
Both Checkit and Proxil offer services in various countries in Africa and are working to build in marketing tools to boost authentication of products. Joshua Matanangali, 7, is too ill to go to school, but the German student can still interact with his teacher and classmates through an avatar robot that sits in class in his place and sends a blinking signal when he has something to say.
Eltern in der Klasse gesprochen, auch die müssen wissen.
Jut Winterberg, headmistress at the Pusteblume Grundschule in Berlin, says Joshi can see the classroom and can talk to the children on an iPad at home.
Wir haben mit den Eltern in der Klasse gesprochen.
We have talked to the other parents in the class and told them Joshi can see the classroom and he can talk to the children. He can see everything on an iPad at home. We had to take away fears such as, can my child be filmed? No, it cannot. Joshi cannot record anything. All he can do is participate live.
Kann nur live dabei sein.
It can raise attention, and then it can talk when I raise attention. Mrs. Balko gets a sign that I would like to say something. For example, you look at me and I would like to say something in school. You can see on the avatar's head that I have a blinking white light.
Joshua's mother says he cannot attend classes because he wears a tube in his neck due to a severe lung disease.
I would not want to give it back ever, even though we expect for the situation to improve and for Joshua to return to class, which is so much better than at home with a robot. There will be other sick children, and be it a broken leg. It means the children are present, and that's why I would never give it back if I don't have to.
Warum? Na, weil dein Kopf ganz lange geschlafen hätte.
The Avatar project is a private initiative paid for by the local council in Berlin's Masenhallsdorf district. The robot representing Joshua in his Berlin classroom is made by Norway's No Isolation company, founded in 2015, with the goal to reduce loneliness and social isolation through warm technologies.
Coming up is my chat with Remy Afon, President, Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria. Stay with us.
Cybercrime is the greatest threat to every company in the world and one of the biggest problems with mankind. With more people working from home, cybersecurity has never been more important for anyone who uses the internet. But as cybercriminals adapt to the ever-changing cybersecurity and regulatory landscapes, which may pave the way for new and unforeseen threats, it is crucial for us to adopt a comprehensive security approach to protect ourselves against these risks, as no one is immune to the risk of a breach. Remy Afon, president of the Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria, shares some insights on this.
Remy, glad to have you on the show today.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. What would you describe as the cybersecurity landscape for 2021 going into 2022?
Cybersecurity landscape in 2021, we witnessed a lot of cybersecurity attacks. There were a lot of unprecedented cybersecurity attacks in 2021. Just recently, just last month, in December 9, there was this acute remote code execution vulnerability reported in the Apache logging package, which we call Log4j. Within 24 hours, there are more than 3.7 million hacking attempts were made to exploit this vulnerability. And that's to tell you the level of attacks that we faced in 2021. There were a lot of ransomware attacks in 2021, and we are expecting a lot more in 2022. In 2021, there are about 37% of global organizations said that they witnessed one form of ransomware attack or the other. And in 2022, this is expected to rise. Even in Nigeria, a lot of organizations witness cyber attacks, from ransomware to denial of service attacks. But because people don't report in Nigeria, we have the issue of reporting. So a lot of organizations, just kept quiet and continue as business as usual. So we are unable to come up with statistics of ransomware attacks in Nigeria.
So this is 2022 now, the very beginning. Should we be worried as Nigerians when it comes to cybersecurity?
Yeah, absolutely. We should be worried because the cyber criminals are not relenting in their efforts. There's going to be a lot of attack vectors and attacks that will take place in 2022. We are looking at more of ransomware, more of denial service attack, business emails compromise, social engineering. As Nigeria is even moving towards election coming up in 2023, we should know that there's going to be what we call deep fakes and fake news. Deep fakes are just videos, images, audio recordings that are manipulated by artificial intelligence technology. We're going to be seeing that a lot, that people will be manipulating politicians and be claiming that they said this, they said that, just to confuse people as the election is coming nearer.
Let's narrow down on the government, right? Do you think we have enough framework to better protect Nigerians on the internet?
We do have framework, but the problem is implementation. Luckily, just recently, the Office of the National Security Advisor just reviewed the National Policy and Strategy. It's a very good document, and if fully implemented, then we should be in a good position to respond to cyber attacks, and also with the Nigerian National Cybersecurity Coordination Center that has just been put into place by the government on paper. If it's properly implemented, the purpose of that coordination center is to be like a focal point for cybersecurity incidents, response and monitoring. So if it's properly monitored and properly implemented, that will be a good place for Nigeria to be able to coordinate cyber attacks that's coming in, and also for organizations to tap into that particular coordinating unit.
Yes, so I was going to go there. As a stakeholder, do you think that this year would see some seriousness when it comes to implementation?
So the onus is on government. I'm not part of the government, so let's hope the government is going to implement it. We've seen a situation in the past whereby government come up with policy and strategy, but they are not properly implemented, or they are not even implemented at all. For example, let me give you a case of that of the data privacy law. There's a data privacy bill that we were pushing for several years. The National Assembly sent the bill to the president, but the president did not assent to it. So now we don't have a data protection law in the country. Although we can have some people organizations coming up with some regulation, but we need a law. We've been saying that all this while, but nothing has been done about that. So there's a need for proper implementation. So let's hope that 2022, our government will take cybersecurity more seriously.
Okay, individuals, Remy, today most people use all kinds of social media, all kinds of tools, all kinds of apps, solutions, and all this stuff. What are some of your thoughts when it comes to how individuals can stay safe in 2022?
individuals, most of the time we overlook individuals when it comes to cyber attacks, and then a lot of individuals are victims of cyber criminals. One of the most common cyber attacks, that is going to reign in 2022 is this cryptocurrency fraud. A lot of people are looking for ways of, investing their money in cryptocurrency. So cyber criminals are leveraging on that. They are advertising that, oh, come and invest in this coin. And they do that on their social media, advertise it, and they use what we call artificial intelligence to generate likes and generate comments. You see several comments, several likes, and before you know, you want to invest there and you lose your money. So we have to be very careful about cryptocurrency fraud. That's one. Then as individuals, there are some things that we need to do as well to regularly update our systems, and make sure you have antivirus in place. Be wary of social engineering, whereby people call you and claim that I'm calling from XYZ bank. Your account will recognize as a suspicious account movement in your account, that you should, you get a code coming up now, and when you look at that code, you should dictate that code to them. They are compromising your two-factor authentication doing that. So you should be conscious of social engineering, and also make sure you protect your digital assets. We have a lot of presence online now. We need to start protecting our digital assets. Start protecting your accounts, your email accounts, your social media accounts. Make sure you implement what we call a two-factor authentication, or multi-factor authentication. What that means is that it's not only password alone that we use to log in, because cyber criminals can steal your password. If you go to dark web, there are so many passwords, that have been sold in there. So it's quite easy for cyber criminals to get a password. So you need another layer of security. And that's what we call multi-factor authentication, which can be enabled in all the social media accounts, by making sure that by the time you want to log in, it asks you for something else, maybe send a code to your phone, then you'll be able to put in that code, or, prompt you to obviously confirm that you are the one logging in. Also, protect your digital assets in the sense that protect yourself. Because of this insecurity, a lot of people disclose where they are staying, where they are going online. Make sure that your geolocation is disabled. A lot of insecurity in the country. You don't want to expose where you are to kidnappers and tell them, I'm in a particular place in Wuse, and before you know it, they come to your to where you are, and you're making life easy for them. So make sure that what you are posting, you're very careful about that, and you are very careful information that you share.
Yeah, Remy, these things you just shared now are things I already do. I don't share my location anymore. I keep my geolocation off. There's some things that I do already. So I just want to say a big thank you to you for sharing your thoughts with us, and I wish you all the best, Remy.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year once again.
Thank you. Happy New Year, boy. As you've heard from Remy Afon, President, Cybersecurity Experts Association of Nigeria, the weakest link is always someone who clicks on a link or carelessly use their password. And for individuals, maybe it's time to reduce how much of your private stuff you reveal on the World Wide Web. As technology and the internet continues to consume almost all aspects of our daily existence, the need to become more cybersecurity conscious increases. What more can I say other than stay safe and always shine your eyes? We've come to the end of the show, but it doesn't end here. The conversation continues online. Check out the show on Channels TV, YouTube, or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.